This is the Code Breakers. This is Paradox.
And this is DC. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Not much.
It's a lot of, man, it's a lot of, I can smell it, man. I can smell it. I can hear it in the air. In the air tonight, man. Where Phil Collins at, man? You remember Mike Tyson was on what was the movie? Shit. You know the movie with the name Vegas. What is it called though? It's real popular. Man, what? You can't even recall movies, man. Damn, what that joint called? I can't call it in the air. Boom, boom. Tyson, like, yo. Hangover. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. The original joke. Yeah. Tyson was a lot. He's like, this is my part. That's some shit he'd probably do too in real life. Exactly like this. Tyson being Tyson, man. Because he had a pet tiger and all that shit, right? That was real life.
Yep.
Yeah. So I can hear it in the air tonight, man. So let's go ahead. I guess we can go ahead with that date, man. So we are already at what? September the what?
September the 8th.
Man, September the 8th, Sunday in the dawn of morning. So we are about to get into the fall. Football is already on and cracking. Dion took a beat down today. I think you saw the game? You watched a little bit of it?
Politics.
Yeah, they got beat 28-10.
Good.
28-10. So
no, I didn't watch any. I didn't watch any of that.
Yeah, I was in and out on it, man. So I checked out a little bit of it, but yeah, checked out a little bit of it. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this Black Rob, man. Get into the flow, man, and then let's get this thing cranking, man, and get into these politics. But I do got a quick service announcement at the end of the intro. So you want to do both songs, or you want to just do the one?
I'm doing both.
You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she tryin' bless me like I said I chew. Like a nigga sneeze, nigga please for them tricky squeeze, I'm getting cream. Never let them hoes get in between of what we started. Little nigga, but I'm lying hearted. They love me when I was stuck and they hated when I departed. I go and get it regardless. Draw it like I'm an artist, no crawling, went straight to walking with foreigns in my garages are foreign bitches menaging, fucking sucking and swallowing anything for $1. They tell me get him, I got him. I did it without an album. I did shit with Mariah. Little nigga, I'm on fire. Icy as a hockey ring, Philly nigga, I'm flyer. When I bought the Rolls Royce, they thought it was lease. Then I bought that new Ferrari, hey, to rest in peace. Hey, to rest in peace to the parking lot. Phantom so big, can't even fit in the parking spot. You ain't talking about my niggas, then what you talking about? Gangsters move in silence, nigga, and I don't talk a lot. I don't say a word. Was on my grind and now I got what I deserve. Fuck nigga. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought the ass tomorrow, y'all thought it was rented? Flexing on these niggas, I'm like Popeye on the spinach. Double M, yeah, that's my T-Rose, the captain, I'm lieutenant. I'm the type can the mean cat.
Watching the whole thing unfold.
from 100 Street to 200 Street. Niggas got me sitting on the roof. I drink on scope, less than 100 proof. Hand on toes, bout to roast. Some kids who flash like they assassins. Pick up my dough and BK, this honey passion. Got the spot on lock, taking flicks around the corner. She made it where this spot ain't hot like a potato. She got 5-0 on the payroll, they slipping yayo. I don't know what to say, yo, there they go. In front of the store, dressed in black shit. Tell by their demeanor, they be hustling backwards, fuck them. Came to do one thing, assassinate them, that's it, that's all. Solo, single, no more, no less. Shots rang, yo. Money caught, one in his Kango. DOA, as this man made his run for the door. Caught him. In the gator shoes, his girl probably bought him. Too bad, Black ain't get the chance to extort him. Cause niggas like that don't deserve to live. Word to me, and we ain't got no love to give. For these drop shots who wanna be down, wanna be clowns, get fair ones. I like how all that good shit sound, and I dare one.
I dare you to come against me. I dare you to defeat me. I dare you to come for me. You want me.
Nigga, I slay, you pray. Get that ass uptown, dump your bitch ass back around your way. When I'm in one of those moves, I can give a fuck. I'm in coupe, running bungee jump off the fucking roof. I hear voices calling me, giving me fits, saying tonight's the night. Black Rob, that's right, he sits in the halls of death. You get left, I'm in the top 10. Even Rocky's ran and his wife said you can't win. Scream battle, but you never fought. That's like me saying I got 5, never ran a full court. Stabbed the devil in his belly, took his belly, blew the spot down and slid straight to the telly. I see envious eyes, envious guys, different states. Man, we singing different cake. Rob me, tear that asshole out of place. Cause in the end, I'm the head case you gotta face. And I dare one.
I dare you to come against me. I dare you to defeat me. I dare you to come for me. You want me.
It feels good not to be dealing with petty cash. Me and D-Dot, all we seeing now is ready cash. And Rob Knott's cutie used to go to Howard with D at the homecoming. On my way from Cat to the Tiger, I know these cats are sick of this. Ridiculous, saying these cats don't love black. This is bad one. I put it where it's supposed to be at. Let me know where to put your rosary at. My enemies, I let them get a load of me, got fine. You don't believe black beneficial? Play your weight, get your mom's cake and kiss you. You leaving wasn't part of this plan. Understand? It's all about the Benjis, man, and I dare one.
I dare you.
Yo.
I dare you to come for me. I dare you
I ain't want to play too much.
to defeat me. I dare you to come for me. Watch me. Word. Word. Man, let me do this quick PSA, man. Public service announcement, man. Let me make sure that my mic is on, man. So just give me like 5 to 10 minutes, man, and then we can get into these politics, man, and we can get to keep it moving. But I try not to even, get into all this so-called back and forth or, misunderstandings and things of that nature. But I think that let me be clear. Everything that I do and that I say, there's a reason behind it. I'm not one to jump out there without any reasoning to the fact. But I will do this because I did this out on somebody else's channel, And for that, that was wrong of me, you know. So like I said, I would like to apologize to Art about doing that. That was not my plan. I did want to address some things, but that's not how I wanted to address it. It just got out of hand, you know. So for that, I accept my responsibility in that, and I apologize because that wasn't supposed to go down that way, especially on your particular program. So for that, brother Art, I apologize. I don't have any issue with you. My brother Charles, me and you, we cooler than full flat tires, man. I think that you can understand where I'm coming from with this, but I understand your position and I respect it. No beef at all. BGS, the situation with me and you, I just think that we have a ideological rift where there may be just situations where I don't know if we can have respectful dialogue anymore. Um, I don't have a problem with that. I really, really don't. I could tell you the reason why I came with so much heat was that there was so much said on other people's channels and things of that nature, as far as like, you know, talking about our program, things that we do over here, making assertions that we're paid by the Democratic Party, as if we don't critique the Democratic Party or the Democratic platform at all. That's so far from the truth. It's not even funny. Um, I think that for whatever reason, our channel gets misunderstood, and I don't want to drag my brother into this any further as far as like dealing with this drama, because I know that you don't like this at all. I know you don't, Paradox. I know you hate this tremendously, but I just think that just to kind of clear you out of this, you know what I'm saying, you don't have anything to do with this. This is all on me. So like I apologize for bringing trolls to our channel, things of that nature. I will say this: if there's anybody that's joined our particular subscription base and they are joining because they want to troll, they want to kind of report back, things of that nature, man, just unsubscribe, man. You don't have to be here on our channel. You don't have to follow what we say or things of that nature. We are clearly not the place for a lot of people, and that's okay. I mean, we already knew that there was not going to be a large following when it came down to our views and how we express them on our channel. At least that's what we kind of originally thought. We just wanted to kind of put our ideas out there apart as far as our unique perspective based off what we have seen being in the unique area that we're in, and kind of like seeing things from the inside out instead of the outside in. So when you see things that way, you have a different view of things. So we tend to not take things too personal when it comes down to political beliefs, believe it or not. I've never been the one to try to dictate who somebody votes for. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. That's completely your right. There's no issue with that. Um, what normally happens, I guess, in certain spaces is that people antagonize people for doing whatever they want to do, or how they think about certain things and how they view the world. That's where it oversteps the bounds for me. I'm not gonna talk about your intelligence. I'm not gonna dog you out unless that is done to me, and that was done. I mean, I I don't think that I should even be. It's just disingenuous on my part to try to even not even. I'm not going to dignify that by even trying to just pull up clips of that. There's no need for that. I mean, people know what they said. People know what their intent was when they said it, and there's never that. It's never been that energy with me. even with the major disagreements of anybody that's been on our channel. I mean, me and Paradox have different views politically, but we have a mutual respect where we can dialogue with each other. And I thought that we can actually share these kind of views and show where a conservative and a brother that's on the left or a liberal, whatever you want to call it, black men can converse, have dialogue, not talk about killing each other. I mean, you know, we're cool with each other. You know, that's the purpose of showing that balance. You know, and the fact that 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 never came through to most of these guys. Like they throw you in as if you're a liberal or something, not hearing how we discuss different topics and how we go back and forth. And it's just like it's foul, man, because like I said, it's dragging you into this, and you should not be dragged into this, man. Like it's crazy to me. So please just, you know, if you're gonna be disrespectful towards our channel, if you're gonna talk about it, just put it on me, DC. Don't put it on Paradox as far as like trying to add him into some kind of liberal left agenda. He don't even vote. He doesn't even vote blue. You know what I'm saying? Like that's ridiculous. And that's why I don't understand how this can kind of get out of whack where people are just making this assumption that, you know, we are trying to cover for Kamala. Like we even said it, like she don't need our protection. She doesn't. We critique her all the time. That's what's so crazy about it. But it's never known because, you know, I guess the only thing that they can hear is when we critique Donald Trump, and we give it on both sides. Like even when it gets out of whack, we still go ahead and present the actual information for Donald, the information for Kamala, and we give our particular perspective on what we think they can do to help their particular campaign. We ran the situation with the actual Democratic convention, the Republican convention, you know, the vice president choices. Clearly, you clearly can see that Tim Walz is a better choice than JD Vance. JD Vance is not stupid. We never said that. I never said that JD Vance was stupid. That's never came out of our mouth. Have that ever came out of my mouth, Paradox? Have I ever said that JD Vance is stupid? Ever?
Nope. No.
It's never. I mean, if anything, I said that he could be a Republican. He's just not ready yet. That's an observation. That's based off evidence that he seems to be not ready for the actual time frame. Now, people, because they have a certain political leaning, they may see it different. I understand that. Just like I may see things differently because of my political leanings. But I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to try to tell you that my opinion is fact. I'm not going to do that. And then I'm gonna talk about, well, you know, you guys don't, you know, this not a, and just dog your whole deal because you see the world differently than me. Of course you do. If you stay across the country and you don't stay over here and you're not in this particular area, you know, you're gonna see it differently. You're gonna have a different understanding. So that's why I'm big on respect, man. Believe it or not, I know people don't think so because of the blow up, but I'm big on respect, man. You know, I don't do the talking down on people. Like we don't talk about people here. And if we talk about people, it's strictly ideas. It's never to talk about that person as far as negative and that personal issue. No. The stuff that I was dealing with, man, was just defending myself to the point where it was things that I didn't say. You was misappropriating our ideas over here. You know, bring it down our channel as far as like the things that we say and the ideals that we stand on fundamentally. We don't say some of the things that's been said that we actually say over here. That's why I'm like, yo, what are they doing? What is going on with this? Why is it an issue? Why did this keep coming up? You know, and that's why I have to say something. Because it didn't make sense. Because like I said, I've been very clear on who I've been since the very beginning. I haven't really changed as far as my leanings politically. But if I objectively looking at something, I'm not going to deny facts. I'm not. So that's the issue. That's the problem. So I'm not going to belabor the point. I apologize, Art, for all of it. I apologize for bringing it to your channel. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to bring that kind of mess to your channel, things of that nature. So you don't have to worry about that. We got enough things that we could do over here on our own thing, and we could just do our own thing and stay in our own little pocket in the outer rim. It's always been that way, so it's better that way. So, but the people that come over, you can still come over as long as you're respectful and share your ideas. We don't care about you disagreeing with us. This is not an echo chamber where you have to agree and we're going to talk down on you. No, you can have your ideas. Now we may challenge it. But if you hold on to whatever you want to hold on to, then that's fine, But I just want people to understand there's a difference between opinion and facts. Like, your opinion is what you deem to be the hypothesis of what you think is going to happen based off the facts as how you understand it. People have different interpretations, man. So, that's where I want to leave it. And Paradox, thanks for allowing me to go ahead and share that, man. And I'm good with it, man. I'm gonna wipe my hands with it. There ain't gonna be no, talking down on people, this and that other. Y'all guys can have that, man. Y'all can run with it. Y'all can do what y'all will with it, man. I'm at peace with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not a spiteful person. I don't sit up here and try to talk down on people, stuff like that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna insult people's intelligence, stuff like that. I'm not gonna do that either. But just don't, don't come over here trolling, Paradox when he does his programs and stuff like that, when it's by himself, man, because you're searching to try to get a reaction out of us. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Just save the heat for me if you want the heat. We drop the link every time, man. You guys have a disagreement, you want to come up and discuss, you can, man. You can have a discussion about whatever I've said. I have no problem defending myself at all. So please feel free to do so. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this political talk, man. I'm ready to go rock and roll. Let's rock and roll.
For the last year, the News 4i team has investigated deaths of D.C. inmates serving time in federal prisons and the unanswered questions that their families have had over the years. Now, a second death in recent months has been ruled a homicide.
Investigative reporter Tracy Wilkins joins us now to explain why some say D.C. inmates are more vulnerable and what's being done to prevent those deaths behind bars. Tracy?
Well, Sean, when a prisoner is given a sentence, the expectation is that they serve it with a focus on successfully bringing them home, rehabilitated and ready to contribute to society. D.C.'s prison closed decades ago. So once its inmates are sentenced, they are now sent to federal prisons all over the country. And both inmates and experts tell us they're often targeted. At least 6 D.C. inmates serving in federal prison have been killed in the last 4 years. Some of their families are still wondering what happened. When D.C. native Derisha Hawkins thinks about the new life she's created for her family in Hagerstown, Maryland, she's proud.
Up here is a different scenery. You don't hear the sirens.
But she's also sad knowing that her husband will never have these moments with his children again.
He loved being a dad. He just loved it.
She says Kamala Jones was a dutiful father, but also a complicated man. In and out of prison, a parole violation putting him back behind bars. Thousands of miles away, where Jones said he felt targeted.
For some reason that they just automatically don't like DC, people from DC.
The distance making it almost impossible to see him or check on him.
I missed him prior to this, but it's a different feeling now. It's like I'm sorry, I don't want to get. It's a different feeling now, because I know he's not coming home.
On March 22nd, Jones' body was discovered in the Special Housing Unit, a place of isolation for prisoners, also known as the SHU, at USP Victorville in California. His death ruled a homicide.
The coroner's office called me and told me that they had his body.
Prisoners placed in the SHU may be moved there for discipline or can request it for their own protection. Derisha doesn't know why he was there, but she told the I-Team he expressed concern for his safety and told her he had been injured, but didn't say by whom.
He's had a broken collarbone. He's had fractured ribs.
According to Bureau of Prisons documents obtained by the I-Team, correctional officers tried to resuscitate Jones after he was found leaning against the shower.
I inquired about him, like, how was somebody deceased standing in a shower?
A roommate also in the cell was restrained and removed. 5 months before Jones' death, Robert Jeter, another DC inmate, also serving time at Victorville, died after being found unresponsive inside the shoe.
He had hopes. He wanted to live his life.
Initially ruled undetermined, the BOP now says his death was a homicide caused by blunt force trauma.
So severely that his brain had swollen and hemorrhaged.
New prison records obtained by the I-Team show Jeter was also in the shoe, found in the shower.
So many DC prisoners, they have a level of insecurity and instability that other state prisoners
Can you
don't
pause
have.
it? Can you pause
Brenda
it
D.
real
Smith is a professor of law at the American University, Washington.
I don't know why. Knowing that this always bothered me, man, about why they closed Lorton like that. You know, because knowing that they was gonna send everybody that's from here to like prisons that are like far, far away. You know what I mean? Especially like people that done like serious crimes. You know, I had a homeboy in Arizona, bro. Arizona, Arizona, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know, like he said, none, they don't like DC dudes at all. and I think it's because, and I'm not gonna even name the prison. There's a prison that's out west where they were sending a lot of us, and then like when they got out there, they start running the prison. They ran the prison. So these guys, man, that's from those areas and stuff, that's from close from over there, the gangs and whatnot, they're not gonna let DC dudes to just jump up in there, and they send these kids to like Victorville and all that. Come on, man, to Vallejo, Oakland, and that area. Come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like you sending the dude all the way across the country. His family can't rock with him. Nobody that's pretty much there gonna be there. Like you don't got nobody from VA, Virginia, North Carolina, nothing. Pretty much, you are out there on your own, man. I just don't understand why they send DC people so far away, man. Like, come on, that's crazy, bro. Crazy. Because, like I said, they're gonna be like, oh, you want them because they're gonna understand, oh, you want them DC niggas, so they're gonna be, oh, y'all like to click up and you know, this and that to get it, you know, or, nah, ain't happening here. So if you got any kind of strong will about you, then they're gonna get you up out the paint. That's just. You know, that's what it is, man. Like they're extra aggressive. He's like, man, I thought, you know, I'm just trying to do my time. I'm like, man, just keep your head up, man. Don't even, you know, my man, he's just cool. You know, he ain't even trying to, you know, be in a way. He just trying to just like do his time and just hopefully get home, you know, in 10, you know, but he said, man, these dudes, it's extra heat, you know what I mean? So I don't know how to call it, man. Like that's just foul though, sending somebody way out to somebody else's jurisdiction like that for that region. Like you know, you're dealing with somebody region, like, you know, send them North Carolina or something, or hell, even Georgia. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't send us so far away, bro. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just wild, man. Arizona, Texas, California. You already know them dudes got like a whole region of them dudes, man. They're gonna be like, nah, man, you ain't running nothing up here, bro. You know. Now let's stay cool with whoever the DC dudes that preceded you are there, you know. But if they hear about, man, you know, any DC niggas that come up in there, man, because they like to kind of like lock up and kind of like, you know, try to start taking over the joint, and they ain't even from y'all set, you know, you just ramp on them, man. Just go ahead and barbecue them niggas, and then, you know, you just keep things stable, you know. Don't let no DC cat come in and just run the group. But now you can finish the video, man. I'm kind of curious. I want to see the rest of it, man. How much longer is it?
Studied and advocated
3 minutes.
For more than 20
The video's down. You
They're
don't have it
going to a
up.
place where
It's playing.
nobody knows them.
Okay, you ready to just play it? Okay.
About them. And all they've heard is about this DC population that's coming to them that is entitled, that is violent.
Many people don't know what happens inside of a prison.
But it is Naila Sebron's job to know. She's with DC Corrections Information Council.
You see what I'm saying? I haven't even seen this, bro. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never seen this
federal
before.
prisons and the
I know.
city's legislators. They visit up to 5 prisons a year, checking on conditions and talking with DC's incarcerated.
That's why I'm playing it.
Give them a voice.
And they make recommendations based on what they find to the BOP and district officials. In the CIC inspection report of Victorville from 2016, numerous inmates said the prison was unsafe and dangerous, with high rates of gang-related violence. Over half of the inmates interviewed reported being assaulted and expressed fear for their safety or lives. DC inmates also complained that they were sent to the SHU more than others and were called troublemakers.
The people who have authority and get these reports, what are they doing with them?
I mean, I would hope that they're reading them and taking in the information. Change comes from legislation. And until there's specific legislation enacted, you know, we just keep churning out reports.
CIC does not have the power to enforce its recommendations, and it's only notified of an inmate's death in federal custody when the BOP issues a press release.
If you all don't know which prisoners are dying or where they're located or how many deaths are happening, doesn't that somehow hinder the oversight work?
I think that that's where the families come into play, right? So if they contact us and they let us know what happened, then we can contact the powers that be at the BOP and inquire within.
The Bureau of Prisons told the I-Team that due to privacy, safety, and security reasons, they couldn't comment on the conditions or any potential investigations involving inmates.
You know, you want to have answers why he was there in the first place. Why was he that far in the first place? And let alone why he's not coming home at all.
We asked the BOP about those concerns raised by DC inmates in that
BOP wrong for
2016
that shit,
inspection
man.
report.
Yep.
The agency said, we make every effort to ensure the physical safety and health of the individuals confined to our facilities through a controlled environment that is secure and humane. There was another CIC inspection that happened at Victorville in 2021. There were less complaints about violence among inmates in that report, but a quarter of the DC inmates there were housed in the SHU at the time. San Bernardino Sheriff's Office tells us the FBI is investigating Jones and Jeter's homicides.
Wow.
Back to you all.
Tracy, I'm just curious, has there been any response from DC leaders about this?
Yes, Sean, we did hear from DC Councilmember Brooke Pinto's office. She chairs the committee that oversees the judiciary and public safety, and she said the homicides are extremely troubling and that she will continue to keep fighting for control over DC's jail and prison system, including keeping DC inmates closer to home. And there are plenty of families who would like to see that happen. Back to you all.
All right. Tracy, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Stop it. Stop it.
What is that? Who is that she hugging? What is that? What is going on?
Nothing. Just you know how people be fanning out.
Where is she at though?
I don't know. She's somewhere in Wisconsin. I don't know. I have to go look it up. Let me see. W-A-Y.
Absolutely. That's right. Who's this? Is this a relative?
I just don't trust white women.
Huntsville, Alabama. Well, that's who posted it. I don't know where she at though.
Yeah, me and you already know what's up with Huntsville. Huntsville, Alabama, right? That's what you said?
I don't think she's in Huntsville though, but that's who posted the video.
Yeah. But she's in Alabama somewhere though.
I don't know. We might figure it out.
Freeport. What's your name?
They look country.
Nice to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Kamala. Are you cooking also? What are you doing here? Or did you bring an adult with you? Or you just hanging out?
How are you?
Yes, come here. Of course. How's school going? Has it started? Yeah. going well?
Yeah.
What's your teacher's name?
My homeroom teacher is Mr. Gaylord.
Mr. Gala? Okay, will you deliver a message to your teacher? And you're going to have to say the vice president asked me to deliver this message. Okay, here's the message. Thank you for being a teacher. Will you do that for me? Okay, high five. There we go. Oh, you're good. You're a leader already. Come on. Yes, come on. Here. This way. Thank you so much.
What is what is this, man? Like,
What do you mean? It's a campaign stop. What are you talking about?
I know, man. Sometimes I don't know, man. Like the campaign, you know how I am with the campaign thing, man. Sometimes it just get pretty
Thank you. Thank you.
buttery, and like it's like when I saw.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
What level?
7th grade geography.
Oh.
Is he trying to get a hug? Is he trying to get a hug? She's
That's
like,
what
"No,
it
I'm
looked
good.
like. He's like,
I'm good. Get out of here, you weirdo."
He a creep from Radiohead for real. Like he look creepy. Like he want to touch her. You know what I mean? Like you see his hands.
Yeah, we have an agreement.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself, sir. To the side, brother.
I ain't gonna lie,
Calm
man.
down.
It makes me very disappointed in black people allowing us to be around these people as children. Very problematic for me.
Yeah, that is problematic.
Very problematic. I mean, complete ignorance.
Absolutely. Especially your children, like toddlers, like
Why would we do? Why would they do that to us?
Man, kids from like, man, I'm telling you, bro, I be on their ass, and that's a lot. Mostly, my daughter has mostly black teachers, man, but I'm like, there, I'm like, yo,
Yeah, but they still watch. They still in the same washing machine, mixing together the same
No doubt.
ideology. It's not like you get. I was talking to a black principal.
Yeah.
And talk to them. I'm like, I'm gonna be talking to a white person. You just know how to talk to me. You just know how to talk to me as a black person. But I know, but based on what you're telling me that you're doing, there's no difference. You're not because you can't do it because the education, the board education, the whole overall system, you have to do it.
It's a whole overall system, man.
Yeah, it's a whole system. So it doesn't matter your race, at least in this system.
Even when you homeschooling, you still within the system. That's what's so cold about it. That's just cold, but woo.
Yeah, and we have a choice. We have a choice, but we made the decision already. We had a choice.
Oh yes, here you go. Oh yes. Oh yes.
I was playing this for the question that she's about to get asked. Are they picking up any mic? I'm not getting no sound.
Yeah, turn it up a little bit.
Yes. Very good. Not a lot of meditation. And if not interested about the division and the attempts to kind of divide us as Americans. And
you know what's interesting though? I know I'm hokey anyway, right? In a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what's so funny is that when you look at her and you look at, I'm just not used to it. When we start talking about presidency, it never really. There's normally a air of something that Kamala and Tim don't possess. I find it very interesting. It's fascinating me, to be honest with you, because normally you would expect it to be like a tick, like just a tick kind of, you know what I'm saying, where it's just a little bit of a distance between you and when you go into a lot of these places and connect with people. Even though you're connecting, there still is like, they're doing a good job of connecting, but like when Trump, who was a billionaire who has a private jet, he has manipulated people to connect to it. But I'm like, oh, come on, bro. or come on, bro. Or Mitt Romney, or JD Vance for that matter, or George Bush or whatever, right? It's just kind of funny
I know what you mean. Like the difference between John McCain and President Obama. Like the first time, like President Obama had this kind of like this it factor, this kind of air of, you know, I am like not royalty, but I am kind of like
I'm
I have
better
a
than.
prestige. Yeah, I have prestige with me. So I'm like, you know, I have this kind of this air of leading people naturally that you may not possess. The thing about Kamala and Tim, they are very regular people. Like
Yeah, they're a little bit too grounded in my mind. I like I told you before, I would be really surprised. I would be surprised at America if they put them in office, because she keeps talking about cooking. She's like picking up stuff. Like it looks very normal, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
is America ready for normal? Because you've been hiring. We have been hiring.
Well, I'm
a
gonna
certain
tell you,
class, almost a certain class of, even though they're from different spaces, you know, when they first started out, they still become like a certain class. But remember something, these are not Ivy Leaguers, bro. This might be a problem in America. I'm telling you.
I know. That's one thing. It's not Ivy League. It's not even Ivy League adjacent.
It ain't even close. It's not even close.
I will tell you this though. I will tell you this.
It's very interesting, man. I'm telling you.
The accomplishments of those two is the jacket is what we're talking about. It does have the it factor when you run the jacket, when you run what they have done, what they have actually achieved. If you look at their record as far as him being in the Minnesota governor, he got so much done in Minnesota. Her being part of the DA's office and then attorneys general,
biggest in the country,
right? And like I said, the guy that she took out of there, he was, you know, he was a stalwart. So she ran head up against him and won. You know,
that's what I was saying about the country, is that it feels like, I said, you have to win it to make it real, but it definitely feels like, man, it's been, I don't think in our lifetime, right? Maybe not Ford, but what's the guy
Jimmy Carter.
outside of Carter?
Jimmy Carter.
Because normally I'm gonna tell you, normally we have these candidates run every 4 years. They run, and they make great governors, they make great senators, they make great Congress people, etc. But when it comes to the presidency, we've tried to elevate that position to make it sort of, I don't want to say a kingship, obviously, but just they've tried to make it more than what it needs to be. America isn't a monarchy. We should be trying to get away. We should always, obviously, in my opinion, stay away from deifying and worshiping anybody. That's what makes Trump to a degree problematic, because when he talks a lot of times, what people are not grasping when it comes to understanding how this thing works, at least in my opinion. You're supposed to be doing things for the future of the country. So I don't care about you and your aspirations, right? I care about America. So are you putting things in place not only for the party to continue and to move forward, but the country to stay together, be together, figure it all out, and move forward? That's America.
And not doing things on the back end, like messing up at first, and then you're forced into dealing with somebody that can litigate it, that could govern. So they're going to be able to manipulate you that way. You know, like allowing you to just go ahead and just run into the wall somewhere, and he can't actually do it because the president don't have that kind of power. You got to have some kind of leeway. You got to get some kind of participation. So he's going to tell people, well, go ahead and give me that. Get that done for me. That's what I want to do. Get this done. And then people can manipulate him that way. That's the fear of having him in office, because he doesn't want to do the hard work. He doesn't want to do what Joe Biden is doing, like the crawling across the aisle, trying to work with people, doing the bipartisan thing.
He doesn't even know how to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
No patience to do it.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. So he's going to try to run over in the process, and then once he runs into the roadblock, he's going to be like, well, do whatever you got to do to get it done. You know, that kind of shit. And then that's when people start to manipulate and think. That's
the problem is, it's not just my only issue is that I don't care as president if you do that. You get elected, you do what you want to do, right? Put in all your little minions, change things around, whatever, you try to get more power into the White House, whatever, right? I got it. at the end of the day, though, you still should be road mapping our future and being honest about that. And that's what that's my. Well, I have a litany of problems with it, but because like you said, like I said, I know the Democrats are up to nefarious things, of course, right?
Yes.
So not giving them a pass per se, but I like things. You know how you say, you know how we are. How as far as me, I don't need the thing to be overturned or blown up necessarily, right? I can have that conversation, of course, but I want it to be traditional standards and things in place. Like I don't need you to go outside of parameters or trying to drain the swamp, whatever that's supposed to mean. And you don't have the complexity, the intelligence level, or the understanding to do it anyway. So it's like it's not a real honest conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that people are sort of trapped in his ecosystem. It's unfortunate, to be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you something. If they lose, I'm gonna be so fascinated to see if we lose, what does that look like? Like where ought to be everyone who's because now you know Elon Musk just is gonna support. I don't know if it's a real headline or not, but I think Elon is gonna join his team. And if you look at it right, you think about all of the band people have joined together globally, by the way.
Yeah.
Not just in America. They're all working together on the internet. They're all working. It's fascinating to see it play. And they're all working together and they're all trying to keep themselves relevant. What's interesting is this though. If Trump goes, then what? It's very interesting. What does everybody do? Remember, everybody has sold their lives to this sort of process, right?
It's like joining a club and then all of a sudden it's like joining the USFL. Remember when everybody joined the USFL and they got paid for that 1 year, then it fell apart. Like that's one of Trump's babies, man. Remember he had Herschel Walker, Reggie White, Bruce Smith over there. He had some players, man, but it couldn't maintain because he did not try to take advantage of the players that he had. He had the players, a great run. But he did not want to do the same things or some of the similar things that the NFL was already doing. It's just
they're trying it again.
It's just protocol, man.
They're trying it again. But I will say this though, it's gonna be if they lose, it will be. I would tell you this: if I was the maggot people, I would be doing everything. I would be doing everything I can on the internet to try to make sure Trump gets elected. Because I'm like, we don't want this gravy train to stop running.
I know.
Because when he goes, I'm thinking to myself, well, as a Republican, who are you? You gonna come hang out with me and Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney?
Because they're gonna flood back the party and they want revenge. Liz
for sure.
She gonna cut it. You think she ain't gonna get her seat back in Wyoming when this shit is done?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
When they primary this whoever they got up in there for MAGA.
Right. Trump
in Wyoming.
MAGAs they've been losing the last 3 cycles.
She's gonna primary the shit out of that person, man. And then once she get that person out of there, she's gonna get back in there and she's gonna be on every committee, she's gonna go. She like her father that way. She's gonna be doing that for the next 20 years, bro. Bet on it. Like
a lot of patience.
She's gonna be on his ass. Everybody that was connected to that shit. Everybody.
I feel bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene and them folks.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Lord have mercy. They gonna make charges up for them. They put charges on them. They're just gonna make them up out of thin.
No, it's not just her. It's another one too. It's another dude. I forget his name, man. But
it's like 20. It's at least 20 of them. 25.
I mean, it's one. He be talking real crazy. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I mean, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. Even if it's the next cycle, it doesn't really matter. It's just gonna be funny because they're so dedicated to misinformation, to disinformation that it's I feel bad because I know people are trapped on the internet and they don't really know what's going on in the world.
They thought she was gonna go away. She's like, oh no, oh nah, I'm not going away. I'm like, what?
Well, do you think you better
normal
get
people go
control?
away.
But do you think you better get? Do you think though? Will you be able to wrangle in the internet? Do people go further? Because these people now, like I said, like I told you, I consider many of them tied to Russia in some type of way, useful idiots or whatever you want to call them. But I just wonder, will they just get pushed out? Because, like you said, there's millions of Americans who are MAGA, and they have to figure out what they're going to do with themselves.
Yeah.
Do they continue to bend back, or do they go deeper down the rabbit hole of the internet and
See,
disaffected and become
that's the thing,
angrier?
because
Or
they're not really mainstream in the mainstream sense of things, right? So the mainstream part of them kind of being normalized is hard because they're so extreme with the ideology part. So
yeah.
it's
And
hard to
I'm
hold
like
it
I told
together.
you, I'm not mad at it in a lot of ways, just because when you watch all of it, you see that the far left says and does a lot of. I can show you some
Crazy,
crazy stuff.
crazy stuff. I already know.
Culturally, socially.
Shit,
I
the
can
young
show you some. I can
Turks.
see there's some laws that have been passed and some things they're doing in some other states that I will not name. That depending on your belief system, even if you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, that stuff shouldn't be out in the open for a lot of people. So
Nah,
it is a
sex education and stuff like that. Yeah, true.
it is tricky because and you can manipulate both groups of people. I can turn you up on the
No
left
doubt.
and I can turn you up on the right. Simple and plain.
Right.
On the left side of it, I have my issues because of how they tie in race to everything, to literally every single issue that they're driving. They're leveraging race to push it, and it puts people over there who look a certain way. I think it puts them in a strange box. That's just me though, just a strange box because it doesn't want to recognize all of your layers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I told somebody, I said, I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why I know I'm being played with, because I can guarantee you, if black people in this country ever got a hold of an industry, say like the mining industry, I would be very curious to watch white people who are holier than thou on the left attack you for not being, a conservationist or a land protector, or because they kind of just let us go. In my opinion, they kind of let us kind of ride, right? Like we don't get hit for any of the environmental things or going green, or they just kind of keep us, to the side or whatever. So I have always been curious about if a black person was able to not just be like an executive or something, but actually owned, control, and was producing waste. What did that look like from a left perspective, as far as like the green people and the far left environmentalist people? I'll always be curious about it, because remember something: people on the far left, they hate corporations, they hate anything to do with oil, gas, mining, lumbering, and a whole, a whole host of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since we don't own or control any of those things, of course, it's nothing for them to attack when it comes to us, right? They just kind of keep us in the pocket. But I think a lot of black people I don't think we would have an issue controlling and owning some of that stuff. And if it produces waste, we'll deal with those consequences. But
Right.
we would sort of lose that protective, quote unquote, status if you think about it, right? In a kind of a funny way. So, maybe one day I get a chance to see that. Because I would love to see the left just turn a little bit on us, just to see what happens, just to see.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Black people behave in this system, so the left can, the white folks on the left, they deal with us as like victims.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be very fascinating to see them one day when they don't look at us as victims, how they would behave towards us.
Oh no, we know what that looks like. Oh no. No, we already have a whole idea of what that looks like. Oh no, it's extreme prejudice. That's what I'm saying. This is the next level of it. Like this is the next level of it. Then you can see the benign neglect. You don't have to, because there's nowhere else for it to go. Like the energy that they give certain black people that are in their spaces, they don't even like being around black people.
I hate them, bro.
I know you do. I know you do.
Elizabeth Warren, Elizabeth
you
Warren, Bernie Sanders, anybody from Vermont, Hampshire, Massachusetts,
I know you do.
Connecticut, New
Rachel
York,
Maddow,
all
Andrew.
of. I
What's the
don't.
other
I hate
Andrew? What's
them,
the
bro.
other guy? Andrew. This
No.
part of the Charlemagne. All them. All of
Oh
them are
yeah, Andrew
very,
Schultz.
very. Yeah, I couldn't even be. Yeah, like they just. The Sam Snyder, Sam, whatever his name is. These
Sam
guys are
Snead.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
not. They're not. Yeah, they're very. They're
majority.
very
If you ever watched the
problematic, bro.
Majority Report,
Yeah,
you ever watched the
absolutely.
Majority Report, all
Yeah,
them
it
people.
makes me. Yeah, it makes me.
Chris and
Yeah,
Chris
I can't.
Chris
Yeah,
and Kyle, Kalinske.
yeah. I
Yeah.
can now. I will say this though. There are a couple. There are a couple.
I don't like them,
Even though they still, but there are a couple that are. They
and
are.
I agree.
They
Don't
are.
get it twisted.
Brian Cohen. He all right, but
No. It's not that. It's not. Even though I
Packman,
hate them, it's like,
David up and
yeah.
down. No. What's the name? No. Those people that you just named. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I can't rock with them, man.
No, what I'm saying is that I do agree with. I do agree with some of the things they say. Of course, right? I'm normal. I agree with some things because it's true. You have corporate greed. You have oligarchy. You have rules that have been stripped down by the Democrats and Republicans to allow companies to monopolize things, price fix things, not allowing competition. I mean, you have rules in place where one company runs a whole state with zero competition, and you can't go across state lines to do business.
Very much.
But it's just interesting that it's just that I have to. It's just if you just pay close attention to them, the way they talk about us is so clever. You know what I mean? It just be
so
bugging me.
if you look at them when they don't look at us as a victim, yeah, you see it where they'll say something like, "I'm not going to do
know
anything
for a
about
fact, if
reparations."
you are not a victim to them, they would turn on you instantly.
Yeah.
I know for a fact they do
Yeah.
not want you to be equal. I know that for a fact.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just. But see, that's
the moment you get too close.
But see, that's the separation, though. That's the separation between when you get down to
they unleash the
liberal
Republicans on
and
you.
whiteness. That's what I'm saying. But liberal and whiteness, I mean,
unleash the Republicans
that's gonna
on you.
always, yeah. But that's gonna always, and they have that buffer. That's what I'm saying. So you keep that enemy to be like, oh no.
Let me ask you this:
they bad, and and think about it. They're being racist at the same time while they're talking about them being racist towards you. And that's what's so nefarious about it. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna see how you
That's
answer
the
this
insidious
question.
work
Do you think Democrats gentrify black people, or do you think Republicans gentrify black people?
No, it's Democrats. That's all day. Most of these cities that are gentrifying people are in Democratic ran cities. That's not the point. The gentrification is
I know it's not that
automatically
black
done.
and white. I just think
But it's already automatically done. See what I'm saying? When you get in these metropolitan enclaves, that
they ruthless, bro.
Black people have to be handled. We still got to be handled. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, when you're dealing with rural areas, then you could just have us separated by the tracks. Of course, that's where they be. That's where we hang out right here, and this is where we be over here. That is the dividing line.
You might also vote as a Democrat, but you run your life as a capitalist, a warmonger, a conqueror, or whatever however you want to frame a person, or just doing business. Whatever you want to call it.
Clearly, the best capitalists are on the left, and the best socialists are on the right. It's been that way. It's what I'm saying. It's been that way since Reagan. When Reagan was telling you, it was his deal when he went to Philadelphia, Mississippi, and he promised these people, "I'm gonna take care of you. It's gonna be trickle down. Don't worry about it. I got you. But I'm gonna go give these niggas hell because I'm gonna take all these monies for these black neighborhoods. They gonna starve. I'm not gonna give them Nathan." You feel me? Like Nathan. If
you look at the 80s, if you look at the 80s into 2024, white people who were poor back then, they're still poor now.
Yeah, but it's like we said, you just keep them above. You just keep them above the basement floor. They're not. But they're gonna stay what? They're gonna stay loyal to what? The actual establishment, and they have done what? They have stayed
But like
loyal.
you said, that's like you said. That's why I think
But
people
the
get
thing is,
confused
paradox,
with the titles of Republican and Democrat. By the way,
but paradox.
people get confused by that.
Where do most of the social welfare come from in these particular states? Mississippi. Think about it.
The rural areas,
Alabama. This is what I'm
the
saying.
most rural areas.
These people don't make enough money to live off of. I mean, let's keep
No.
it real.
And
Like,
it's
I mean,
spread.
even
And
how
since they're not
cheap it is.
consolidated and they're spread out amongst what about 50 million acres of land over 50
Yeah,
states, it allows you to kind of play with the numbers and kind of play with things a little bit because they're not consolidated. They're not.
Man, one place of employment. Most of these people don't got like no white collar skills. They didn't suck the factories out of these places. You have to subsidize these people to live properly. Everybody knows that. If they don't work for the police department, post office, some kind of that's what I'm saying. They have done social engineering for years, man, both financially and mentally. But that's
Yeah,
what
if
I'm
you didn't
saying.
go back, if you didn't go back and get trained.
These people on the left, they talk about capitalism, but these are the biggest capitalists. That's what I'm saying. They're the biggest ones. They're the ones doing venture, United Healthcare and Aetna and all of
Yep.
these people got all these big brands and money. That's them. That's where the money is. That's where the flow of the money is.
Shit,
There's no
even
doubt about
Tech's supposed to be left.
it.
Silicon Valley's supposed to be lefties.
no
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. There's no doubt about it, bro. That's what I'm saying. Mark Cuban. Let's think about it. Mark Cuban and all these guys. Like, come on, man. Like Bill Gates, all of them. They're not automatically.
And trust and believe me,
right?
all those lefties over there do not want labor to do anything. They do not want labor to organize. They do not want labor to unionize.
No
and
strikes.
then you start thinking,
no strikes. Yeah. No
so, but my point was saying all that was just that people, like you said, as you understand those layers, though, I think it can get a little bit complicated when you say, well, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat or I'm on the left, right? Because
but
there's so much more going on besides just them titles.
Paradox. It depends on where you stay too. So, like in states like the Blue Wall, they live a very conservative life. So, like in places like Michigan, Wisconsin, what's the other one that I'm missing?
Minnesota.
Minnesota and Pennsylvania, right? Those four, right? Those four states there, you're thinking that the Republicans, but there's really no major difference between the two outside of the unions, and the thing that those particular areas, they're pro-union. Those areas are very, very pro-union with the Democratic Party. So the Democratic Party gets the support of those unions on the Blue Wall. That's why they call it the Blue Wall. They call it a Blue Wall for a reason. Now, these are not extra liberal people. We know this. That's a fact. These are not liberals. These are like jean wearing, hard hats. These are people but they do not want big
common sense, moderate.
They do not want bosses basically dictating them to the point where they don't want liberals. They don't want the left. They don't want the extra left to come in and just kind of dominate them and tell them what to do. They don't want that part. They rather deal with the actual
well, like you said, I think the issue too,
stuff like that,
right? And it gets complicated because you have multinationals that you're dealing with and globalists that you're dealing with, and so now it scales on a different level. And I think that's where the worker feels left out, and the politician is trapped because of the money. How do I serve all these masters in a sense? So it gets very tricky. So I'd be so curious to see Kamala and Tim, because of their background, how at this level, how do they deal with that? Because it's not going anywhere necessarily. You're not getting money out of politics with a snap of a finger, of course. The House and the Senate is going to be pretty much split down the middle, right? And you have a lot of people who are owned by who have corporate donors who are not going to just. I don't know what kind of convincing it would take to turn all that stuff off. Are you talking about billions of dollars flooding through that system? So something has to be dealt with and tolerated on the level as well. You know what I'm saying? Because very difficult dealing with these companies, I think, because they're so strong and they're so large and so influential and so powerful. And a lot of people, like you say, even the American people, a lot of them don't collectively. I don't think we don't have a huge issue with corporate power like we probably should. I would always think that labor would be more upset collectively across the country, but I believe that they've given us enough for it to be somewhat in check. And then you have so many disaffected workers who are not a part of any of it, right? So it's very, very it's very interesting. I was trying to see that she respond to this Dick Cheney thing, but I
Them
don't know.
stepping up to make this public statement, I think, is courageous, but also for people like the folks I was just talking with, it really reinforces for them that we love our country and we have more in common than what separates us. So,
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, press. Let's move.
yes, I am. Yes.
Best part of debate prep for you? What's your favorite?
Being at the spice store, I finally.
Yo, you know what? You know what somebody said. So I was like, well, why has she met Donald Trump? She ain't met Donald Trump, and she's the vice president. This and that, this and that. And then somebody was like, yeah, because he had an insurrection at the at the Capitol building and did not transfer power and did not did not do the normal meet and greets and stuff at the White House and
that's
showed them
crazy.
everything. People just that didn't even happen. They just pretended it didn't happen. They just pretended it didn't even happen.
We just pretend. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, we cannot just. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can, but you know, yeah,
Like you said, you have to look at the people. The people is what creates the tolerance to allow it to exist, not necessarily him. He behaves badly or he behaves good, and then depending on how people respond to it, will dictate how everybody else has to deal with it. And since he runs 40% at least 40%, if not 35, 40% of the Republican Party, he's allowed to misbehave and disrespect tradition, which is just strange when these people are claiming tradition. It's just perverted.
Yeah.
When you think about it, on every level, it's unusual, bro. But it proved, like you said, I think it does prove to us when we look at America that you just have a lot of people who are I don't want to say lost probably, but just are, I guess, just burnt out. I don't even want to say it was burnt out. I watch a lot of videos on just regular MAGA people, just to try to get into the brain.
How you do it. I cannot. I've tried, man. I just can't.
It's easy. It's just people talking.
No, man. But you already leaned out. It's hard, man, for me, man. I try to like at least because it's just that they have it's the blind spot. That's what it is. Like I could see if they say but it's just when they try to
they're not being honest about what they're doing. DC is what you're talking about. They won't articulate what they're doing.
But I'm saying, but not just that. They're trying to fit him into this. So that they very seldom try to compare and contrast him to anybody. So they separate him and kind of like leave him as an entity of just what he does to the system. If that makes sense. Like
that's all that matters. It's not. It's not meant to make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not meant to rationalize him and make him logical. It's not. That's not what it's meant. So but my point is this: they're still trying to practice deception.
Yeah,
that's the funny part. It's like, on
a serious level too. Yeah.
Right. So a Democrat will go interview a MAGA person. They're interviewing, right? And then they will make them look stupid. They think. And then a regular American will say, "Oh, look how stupid the MAGA people are." They're not stupid at all.
No.
They know exactly what they're doing, but they're playing dumb.
Yeah,
they're playing dumb.
Right.
But they know that Trump is doing exactly what they want him to do. At least, what do you call it? Like at least on the surface.
Yeah, now but see, that's what I'm saying. He's very predictable that way. You know, like it's almost like you run a mouse through a mousetrap, right? And all of a sudden the pattern starts to develop how this mouse thinks or what they're going to do within this mousetrap. And that's what it is. Like you just put things up ahead of him, and he's just going to try to bulldoze through it, but that causes a reaction.
What they should be saying what people should be interviewing the maggots about Trump is he did not do what he said he was going to do. He's basically at this point a spoiled kid. The moment his daddy hugs him and loves him, then he wants to act. He wants to play along. So
Right.
once he gets it, once he's accepted, he doesn't comply with what he's supposed to be doing, which is disruption. And so the thing is this: when he does
He
everything
fell
Mitch
in love with
McConnell
the
says
power, though.
do,
But he fell
I'm
in love with
like,
the
bruh,
power. But that's what I'm saying. That he
you're
fell in
supposed to
love with
be
the
breaking
power.
something, and you
Right.
is doing whatever. Then what are we doing right now? So it's basically a big show.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of the maggots feel they're just happy to be included.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
are.
funny part.
They don't
So
care.
like you said, you have January 6th happen. They didn't do anything outside of the Confederate flag and putting and smearing feces everywhere, of course. But my point is, and beating up cops and stuff. So they did. I mean, they did do something. But my point is that these are well armed people. So they wasn't there to actually really go to work like that, obviously, right? So it's interesting that it almost feels like this, right? Y'all haven't bothered to care about us in 30 or 40 years. We found someone who listened to us because he literally said he listened to them and he's responding to them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I told you, it's like he's doing what the system needs to be done to keep about 70 or 80 million white people in check, happy, excited about life again. He's reinvigorated these people, right? They're relevant, right? It's very funny when you think about it because it keeps them from doing something stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like
that group.
It's like this. I
no doubt.
think black folks was getting to a point. I think we was getting to a point, and they gave us Obama. And guess what? I told you before, 100 years of compliance.
Yeah.
100 years. It's 100 years. 100 years of yes or
obviously,
boss.
I don't think it's gonna be 100. I mean,
Yeah, of course, I'm just joking, but I'm just saying that it's funny to me
yeah, I
that
got you.
the system know it very, very, very smart, and it almost seems to know that when it's time, when enough people get upset and they need something to want something, okay, fine, we will unionize. Okay, fine, we'll give you civil rights. Okay, fine, women can vote. Okay, fine, you can be gay. Okay, fine, if y'all want us to break the system, give us Donald Trump. We can whine and complain, and he can act stupid, and we can laugh at how y'all are mad at him, and we can play these games with y'all. And at least we feel like we're a part of something again. We're a part of America again. So it's just kind of funny how it all plays along. Because like I said, he gets in the office, he hires all Republicans. I mean, like, it didn't make any sense. It just makes no sense. It's just like, come on, man, you didn't break anything. This is ridiculous. You're worrying about doing deals and getting credit for the deals. Like, you're worrying about, I'm gonna show them how good I am. It's like, that's not what you're supposed to be, breaking things. Like, oh, you want to be included. Yeah, I thought they asked her a question. They didn't ask her though.
To look at these spices. Best part of debate prep so far.
Your main message to Trump in the debate. What's the one thing you want to really get across to him?
Well, there's a lot, but look, it's time to turn the page on the divisiveness. It's time to bring our country together. Chart a new way forward.
All right, let's go, press. I'm sorry, it's been reported.
I wonder, can it be done?
You. Where the fuck did your little black ass come from? Huh? You think you and some old voodoo bitch could scare me out of my house? I don't care how many slaves died here. You get no reparations. No reparation. You.
Oh man.
Give us the vote! 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 Give us the vote!
California is the very essence of political cowardliness in regard to the reparations bill, which should have been signed by the governor and that now is not just being delayed primarily by the Black Caucus, but put off, postponed with another commission, another investigation. That's the last thing we need. We need action. The governor's too obsessed with his presidential ambitions, and the politicians are too preoccupied with finding some position or status on the Democratic Party plantation. Please, we had enough of this. Where's your moral consistency? Where's your political courage? That's what we're looking for. That's precisely why our campaign puts reparations at the very center of its concerns about the Black plight and predicament, in addition to the elimination of poverty, the elimination of homelessness and unhousedness, living wage, and on and on and on. Let us continue to fight. Don't get discouraged. Be of great courage. But we've got
passed 9 of the 14 bills that formed its reparations package, with the 10th bill already signed by Governor Gavin Newsom. But the CLBC also pulled 2 key proposals, SB 1403, which would establish a state agency to oversee reparations efforts, and SB 1331, which would establish a state fund for reparations payments. Assemblymember Lori Wilson, who's chair of the CLBC, told reporters that the Black Caucus believes that the bills needed more work. State Senator Stephen Bradford, who authored the measures, said he wanted the bills to move forward, but he said others in the CLBC feared that Governor Newsom would veto them.
Never signaled he would veto the bill. He just said he had some concerns, as they have with many bills. So, but that doesn't mean you don't move forward with the bills.
Bills that have made it to Newsom's desk include legislation that would issue a formal apology for slavery, return land stolen by racially motivated eminent domain, and limit solitary confinement. But the CLBC's decision to pull agency and funding bills drew protests and condemnation from those who say they are crucial.
The bills that pass are not reparations. An apology is not reparations.
Are you happy with the outcome of this session's reparations package?
Why do you
Members
think
of
that,
California's legislative Black Caucus are
pause real
touring the
quick.
state.
Why do you think that you know, I know that there was like some people that was kind of going to Trump about some kind of black agenda during the second time that he ran.
Yeah.
You know, that they was talking about, because that's why he came out with the platinum plan and stuff like that. Why do you think that all that hasn't really been re-up with him this time, and that it's kind of like just been focused on Kamala and these other groups? Like it does they haven't really.
I've been waiting to see it too. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like no kind of focus on you know, because they saying that, you know, it's not going to happen with the Democrats, but why haven't the focus been on trying to get him to at least acknowledge or speak to reparations or any kind of black agenda that he had? Because he did it the last time that he ran. Do you think that that's strategy on that part to say, well, if we bring that up, that's going to exclude some of the people that may think that he's trying to lean a little bit to the middle? Do you think that may have something to do with it, that maybe the people that he's campaigning? Because I think he'll use anything to win. I mean, he'll do anything that he got. But I guess he could use the criminality part, because he said that, you know, the blacks. I'm like, the blacks now, because we got something. I think the problem is
everything is so. But everything is so. I don't know. I would say that everything is so trendy, man.
The blacks. Like Brother Art says, that's funny, man. The blacks.
Everything is so trendy. It's hard for me to really say.
Because he'll go on a diatribe. He'll go on a diatribe and be like, I'm the best president for black people that's ever lived. Like, he'll just go on some kind of rant. Like,
I think it might be easier. I think it was easy for him to maybe make the argument going against a white male. But I think going against a black female, I think he may not.
Yeah.
You know, remember something. He was going to go there, but the Republicans in the House, all the Republican operatives, all the pundits told him, "Don't talk about race."
Just don't talk about it this time.
So
That's
I
what
think.
it's
So
clear.
I think. So I think if he doesn't take their advice and get
Right.
muddy with it, let's get muddy with it. And so I thought he was going to do it. I was excited to see it because I want to talk about race and not hide in race. But let's get to it and start asking these questions about what all this stuff really supposed to mean and what's really going on here.
He talks about the
And they told him to
opportunity
leave it alone.
zones.
So he's not talking about them.
Yeah, he talks about the opportunity zones, but he doesn't go into full detail about it and how it ran.
I ain't heard him say anything.
Well, he talks about, like, if somebody asks him, or they'll, like when he was at the NABJ, he talked about it a little bit. Like, I gave opportunity zones. I gave more opportunities for African Americans there's ever been for any president. Check the record.
Right.
All that
Trump
kind of stuff,
Trump wants to engage race. The Republican Party does not.
Right.
And for whatever reason, he's listening to them for this time around.
Yeah, this clear. Yeah. He's not.
And the argument is because she's a black person,
right?
It's not the
it's
neutralized.
Not
worth the squeeze.
Yeah, it's neutralized.
Now that's what their calculations are. I think they're 100% wrong on the calculation. I think what he should do is to lean heavy into race.
But see, that's the thing.
Let's really have a conversation about what it means to be white and black and who should get what and why.
Is the fallout worth it? Like, because the people,
it's worth it for me.
Pick up, well, yeah, of course, but he's going to pick up more of the black vote, of course, but then the so-called group that is kind of like, I don't know what's going on. Why is he talking about the blacks? Like what?
Because you know why? Because there's millions of black people that know the Democratic Party is playing with them. Period. Point.
Blacks. Yeah.
And the thing is that if somebody else if the black vote is vulnerable to be picked up if you choose to engage it. But like I said, if you do that, right, you're making deals, you're making statements. It puts pressure on other parts of your voting blocks. It puts pressure on them because they have to accept some new things.
Right.
And he did a good job last time, sort of threading the needle. But I don't know. Like I said before, I don't know if this is the way the politics are this time around. I don't know.
I just don't know if they put it. They mostly convinced him that was one of the major reasons why he lost, was bringing up the platinum plan, even though it gave him a little bit of a bump, or he got like a very strong contingent, because the black people that are for President Trump, they're like very strong his way. They lean towards him. Like they even got the blind eye Sauron on them too. So they don't see all the negatives that happens with him either. They just see all the positives in their eyes. Well,
there's millions. I mean, we're a very small group of people. there's millions of us who don't vote at all. So that's a different conversation to have. Right?
That's true.
And there's millions of black folks who just hit the D. But the laws that they put in place and the things they implement doesn't necessarily affect them from what they believe, and so they can be had if you pander to them. They're sitting right there waiting for you to say, "Well, yeah, come get me." I don't care about police reform and justice reform.
Don't care none about that. Yeah,
fixing the ghettos and
just make me feel
prison
good.
Reform.
Yeah, just made me feel good on some Halle Berry Monsters ball shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And remember something: every time a black person tries to have a different opinion, a bunch of black people who, I guess, on some level, pretend that they're really not Democrats, but they actually are, attack them for having their own opinion, having freedom. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
How are you going to tell a black person that they can't vote for a Republican, as if the Democratic Party isn't racist as fuck? It doesn't make it. It's a stupid to me, it's a stupid conversation, honestly.
Well, no, you shouldn't talk. You shouldn't talk about voting as if it's providing safety either side. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just that's what I'm saying. You can't.
No, it's literally
about
stupid.
It like it's some kind of safety involved. No. There's no like it's safe over here. No.
Now trust me.
Be cautious.
If white folk put it this way, DC. if white folks was looking out for black folks on the left, it would already have been another civil war by now.
Yeah, we would have just
maybe not a physical war, but definitely some party dividing would be happening.
It'd be so hard.
On
It'd be
a
so
serious
hard
level.
to govern. That's what I'm saying. That's how you know that they're not that much different. It would be so hard to govern this country if we were still that ideologically opposed. But see, we talk about all the time what still gets left out. And I want people to really hear this, because if they're gonna, if you guys are gonna clip this, you guys need to understand where me and Paradox is coming from. What do me and you both know about both sides?
I'm not speaking to those people who are gonna do whatever you just said. I'm not even talking to them.
I know. But what do we understand about white people that's in this country at the end of the day? What's the overall party that means the most here out of all of it?
Maintaining the Western Empire.
and what does that entail overall, though?
Making sure that it stays white.
There you go.
Meaning that white people will retain most of the power, most of the influence, regardless of demographics, numbers.
That's why
birth rates.
That's why you see someone like Liz Chaney making that decision. It's just you're seeing it. You're seeing the decisions that are made all the time. Like it's in our face. We see it.
But white people are fighting one another, and like I keep telling you, that's why I always laugh about black people picking sides, Democrats and Republicans, and they're caping. They're actually caping on a level that is like, you do know that these white folks don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat or Republican at the end of the day. But anyway, there's the level of stupidity that is stifling and suffocating, to be honest with you. But what's so funny is that I love watching white people fight one another. It's entertaining to see the left fighting the right, and the new group shows up, the MAGAs show up, and now the right is in a fight with one another at the same time with the left, and the left is trying to keep them in check, and then they're trying to maintain them. Remember, you're still trying to maintain America, Canada, Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand. You're still trying to maintain all your influences around the world with the United Nations. And I mean, you're still trying to hold on to what you've been working on for a couple of thousand years. So I mean, it's a lot of things that are happening at the same time. It's fascinating.
Right.
It is really fascinating because you have to maintain the Western Empire, not America, the whole Western Empire.
Yeah,
you have to have that. You have to have that.
That is the party at the end of the day. The American party.
Yeah. And then you can get to the fun stuff, which is the politics and implementing rules.
Yeah,
and
the
who
ideas,
gets what, and
the ideas on how to manage.
Like
we'll keep this shenanigan going. We'll keep our overtness going as long as you keep your benign neglect going. Like if you get too,
we're managing 200 democracies around the world. I think 220 democracies around the world, all races and creeds and colors and gender, and.
But see
nationalities and all that good stuff.
Here's the danger, though, right? Like we still haven't become politically savvy enough or politically flexible enough to where we can decide. If, like I said, like if there's like a superstar that rises on the Republican ticket, right, and he or she that is non-white, that's not a white person, right? Like an Obama. Like say like Vivek was a little bit more moderate instead of just being blind to what America is. Like say like he's second or third generation, like what his parents, what his children may be, right? Where they're gonna understand
it'd be problematic.
They're gonna understand race. They're gonna understand race, but they're gonna still have that bootstrap.
That's all he's missing, by the way.
Right, they're gonna have that bootstrapism. Well, he's doing a blind eye.
That's all he's missing.
Yeah, he's doing that blind eye thing. And so what happened is they can have the same talking points and do all this, but they can hold whiteness up to a mirror. But see, that's the point. That's the point of where they're going to go then. Because see, the thing is, once we flood one party because they're being a little bit more inclusive, because that's what's going to happen. We flood that party, then guess what happens, right? It goes back and forth. So these are the same people. That's what I'm trying to say, Paradise. These are the same people, always was. It's just they're moving around and they're dealing with each other on a. They're calling each other this and that. But at the end of the day, we got to look at it as far as like okay, where do we maneuver and where can we get things done at? Like that's the important part. Like to me, if you flex the parties and you say, okay, let's kind of make it a little bit more fluid as far as the parties are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
not Democrat, Republican per se. Maybe you could say maybe it would be better to just say liberal, moderate, you know, conservative, right? Just as a personality trait, and then we just vote the best candidate, like run an open primary period, like no parties.
Yep.
You know,
Well, the
because
party's unconstitutional anyway.
our electorate, because it's tied to a past, it's tied to a history, being that it's basically manipulating both. It's manipulating us, the group that's mistreated the most here, the black group, the ADOS, or whatever you want to call it. That group is getting manipulated, and and the people that are speaking for us, they're getting paid, man. And neither side is being able to kind of express true progression of the people that need help the most, that's represented in that group. And I think it may be like
I
that
would
too.
say
It may be
black
like
people are
that.
getting
It may be
mistreated the
like that
most.
too. It may be like that too with the. I'm sorry, I'll get back to that in a minute. It may be like that too with the Hispanic groups, some of the Asians. You know, because
Yeah, they all got their own problems.
I know, but all Asians are not created equal. I'm just saying, like, I'm
No.
I'm acknowledging that there may be that disappearance is what I'm saying. Like people are speaking for them, but they're not really speaking for them. You know, that type of deal. But they, like you said, they're not politically active enough to make a brouhaha about it. They deal with it in silence to a degree, or they just don't deal with it at all. You know.
Yeah, and they don't have anything that's organized or has any kind of leverage like that. Is a part of that as well, I think. So they don't even. There's nowhere to be politically active.
Yeah, you made a comment that's it sounded kind of crazy. So say it again. What were you saying?
I said the people who are being mistreated the most are just black people. Yeah, just
okay.
black people.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. That's what
I don't care if they're Caribbeans or West Africans or Brazilians or Black Mexicans. They're all black people to me. Anything outside that is anti-black and borderline racist, to be honest with you.
Man, you done a 360 on that one, man.
180.
Yeah, because it's just I wish that they kept the language clean. It was nothing wrong with it if you just stuck to the definition of what the word meant. Like
it doesn't mean anything. Go to court, get the money, keep it moving. All the other shit that you're doing is some other stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
That's what I'm saying. And so you weaponize the parties is weaponized against them. Now you get
thrifting, it's playing games.
Ann Coulter. Now you get Ann Coulter using it on Laura Ingraham and all them doing that shit. It's like, come on, y'all. Like, how y'all gonna just just
you can't be falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
And you
can't do it, bro.
And we keep these people alive with this, and it's just like they just volley back and forth, back and forth.
You have to have the knowledge and understanding and maturity to understand that people are different everywhere, even in our own country, and understanding the layers of that. You respect me from being from DC or Baltimore. You respect me from being from the suburbs, from the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? You respect that particular culture. You respect, you know what I'm saying? It's levels and levels and levels to it, and you respect all of it. And you don't use it. You don't divide. That doesn't even make any sense, especially in the time frame that we live in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Matter of fact, the arrogance to even attempt to do it is hilarious.
We're dividing like we in charge. That's the crazy part. Like that is wild to me. It's just like, what are you talking about? But I got you.
No, I'm saying that we're living in an era, say the last hundreds of years, where you're trying to actually collaborate and come together because you found that it's stronger, even though you may have your differences and they can even get violent. You even maybe have your differences, you still have to understand how the world has been organized. Now, when that changes, then you adapt to that change. But right now, living in real time, it is better to figure out ways to make connections and work together and tie some history to it and figure some things out because of how the world is reflecting upon you. more so anything, or just don't bother each other. Either one works for me. But once you start actually creating division, especially within your own country as a subgroup, I just think that shit it's literally retarded.
Well,
It's
do you get paid?
it's hustling backwards.
Yeah,
It makes
get
no
paid for it?
sense.
That's when I started.
When you come when you come to the Americas, you're red, black, brown, yellow. Is that right? And white. That's it. This isn't not an old world, not the old country. This isn't ancient. This isn't no culture. There is no culture here. There is none of that stuff exists.
Fairly new.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So we know what the color codes are, and that's what the rules are. And people who come to this country, or people who are on social media, it is stupid. Everybody know that. Doesn't matter though. You know, the gun says it's real, and the gun says it is what it is, and it's been the way for a couple of centuries, if not longer. And so people have to. It's unfortunate that, like you said, people kind of get caught up in like, well, it doesn't make any sense, and you should have this. It's like, yeah, I hear you, but that's just not a reality. Good luck with it, though, right? You know, but understanding that when you come to the Americas, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on how you look at it, you have to assimilate, and time will assimilate you into our society. You know, but you have to accept what the majority group has structured, has implemented. You know, and I'd rather live in that reality than some other, you know, one-off reality that you're trying to shape, create, and grift off me on, and try to make me believe these fantasies that I think is just, I just think it's ridiculous. I just think it's let me not say ridiculous. I just think it's inefficient, to be honest with you. You know, some things we should not waste our time on. We could be focusing on things that are a lot more pressing.
Right.
It's just inefficient at the end of the day.
Do you want to
finish playing this.
You got okay, yeah, cool.
To promote 14 reparations
I gotta
bills.
see what they want to say on this real quick.
That includes a measure that will go before voters in November that could change the state constitution to end forced prison labor.
ACA 8, the End Slavery in California Act, which will be presented on the ballot as Prop 7, aims to eliminate involuntary servitude from our state constitution without exception. We are asking voters to support this historic measure and ensure that every individual in California is treated with dignity and respect.
Caucus members and other reparations supporters say they plan to have State of Black California community listening sessions in 6 cities over the next 5 months. The Black Caucus's 14 reparations bills tackle education, business, criminal justice, healthcare, and civil rights. They also just convinced Governor Gavin Newsom to include $12 million for reparations measures in the state budget.
I consider the governor's allocation of $12 million for reparation resources a big win for the California Legislative Black Caucus, as well as all California.
California became the first state in the country to form a reparations task force 3 years ago. And it was the first to introduce a comprehensive reparations package of more than 100 recommendations last year. Some Black California legislatures noted that Republican colleagues have pledged to vote against reparations bills, and some Democrats have expressed reservations. But lawmakers say they will continue to build support for their reparations bills through their listening tour. They plan to start with modest measures that could serve as proof of concept. As Assembly Member Corey Jackson says,
because no matter what legislation is passed, if we don't get to work, we can't put those laws into effect in a meaningful way.
For Cal Matters, with additional reporting by Deborah Brennan, I'm Wendy Fry.
Huh. So what do you think about
Tonight
that?
is the final night.
Just your quick observation. What you think about that out in California?
I was trying to get Gavin Newsom's comments, what I was actually looking for. I mean, I don't know. I'm just
California's
watching.
legislative session. State lawmakers have until midnight tonight to pass proposed laws for the year.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that they what does it say? I want to listen to the direct impact on her after Democrats. I think they killed the Democrats killed the bills. DC.
Tonight is the final night of California's legislative session. State lawmakers have until midnight tonight. day as lawmakers plan to block 2 key bills for that effort. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala is live at the state capitol right now with what's happening. Ashley?
That's right, Orko. This has been the big story mainly all day here. California's Legislative Black Caucus, which represents the Black members of the state legislature, confirmed that lawmakers will not move forward with those 2 key proposals. The first, SB 1403, which would establish a state agency to oversee the state's reparations efforts. The other, SB 1331, that would establish a state fund for reparations. So the blocking of these bills has angered protesters who've been in the Capitol Rotunda all day, yelling at lawmakers in the assembly to bring the bills up for a vote. State Senator Stephen Bradford said Governor Newsom's office asked him to make changes to the bill that would establish the state agency and to instead turn it into a study of reparations recommendations by the University of California. Bradford would not accept the changes, and he says the Legislative Black Caucus is afraid of the veto. But the leader of the Legislative Black Caucus, Assemblymember Lori Wilson, denied this. Bradford told us, though, the bills have the votes.
We're at the finish line. And I think we as a Black Caucus owe it to the descendants of chattel slavery. We owe it to Black Californians and Black Americans to move this legislation forward and get it to the governor's desk.
Now, nothing is final until the gavel drops here at midnight, but it's unlikely that these bills will come up for a vote. It's something that we'll continue to watch.
I don't even know why they mention Republicans. They have a supermajority in California. You don't need Republicans to do shit in California. Just get it done, Democrats.
Something that's only going to benefit Black people? No. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
They
So I'm
cold.
not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people.
Hi.
Yeah, that sound pretty rough right there. You click it when you clip it up like that, nice and clipped up.
Two critical reparation bills.
Nasty work.
Senate Bill 1403 and Senate Bill.
Forgive me because there's over 1,000. I'm not very good at the numeric, but
agency.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. What I do know is
Bradford's desk on August 26th.
as it relates, well, hold on. We work with the legislature throughout the legislative process on amendments. Sometimes they advance those amendments, sometimes they don't take our amendments, and those bills are sent to my desk. I think you're referencing bills that were not sent to my desk that did not pass through the legislature. As it relates to the broader issue of reparations, which I appreciate both of you referencing, we work very closely with the Black Caucus on a package of reparations reforms. We met before the legislative session, we met during the legislative session. We worked very collaboratively on amendments. We also worked on bills without amendments. And I think the vast majority of those that we agreed to and worked collaboratively together with the Black Caucus have ended up on my desk. I'll be reviewing them all on the merits. And I want to applaud the head of the Black Caucus, Lori Wilson, who's been spectacular in advancing those bills, their principles, and advancing them in a collaborative spirit.
Much under fire about those two critical bills that did not make it to your desk.
Well, I have to, those bills, you'll have to ask them, the legislature, why those didn't land on my desk.
Did you tell the Black Caucus that you would veto the reparations agency and reparations fund?
I didn't talk directly to anyone about those two bills. As it relates to the process of how bills are done broadly in the state, there's a collaborative process. People ask our opinions. Are there concerns? Issues that have dollar figures are consistently marked, consistently. If it wasn't done in the budget, that's going to be a challenge. There's always exceptions to that, but that's going to be a challenge. And that was a process that unfolded over the course, as I said, of months, particularly as it relates to the reparations package in partnership with the Black Caucus. And there was no daylight with Lori Wilson and the Black Caucus as it relates to the work that we did collaboratively together. And let me just, on a personal note, and forgive me about this, she did not deserve to be attacked like she was attacked. Members of the Black Caucus did not deserve to be attacked and their integrity impugned. That was disgraceful. There were members of that Black Caucus that are owed an apology for being treated the way they were treated, to be doxxed. to be personally maligned and attacked. So forgive me for expressing that. Great respect and admiration for the leadership of the Black.
And like people just were like, no, like we're not doing that. Ice Cube, you know, whether you love him, like him, hate him, at the end of the day, him and Maxine Waters, who I've been cursed out thoroughly by, um, uh, you know, the two of them made the phone calls. It was Maxine Waters and Ice Cube.
And he's trying to block my access to it. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons,
wasn't
but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
Well, I
But you
think we
won't
should
vote
have
for the bill.
We should.
I
We should
supported the
have a
bill all
conversation.
session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Sethi?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring it
together.
up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
The Democrats ain't gonna pass no bills,
this is a
man,
similar-
and lose all the lose the upper hand. It's ridiculous. They mad on Twitter. They mad, DC.
Discrimination is discrimination and should be illegal under the law. That's what the Equality Act is about.
Every year, we monitor all 50 state legislatures. When hateful bills take aim at anyone in our community, we mobilize and we defeat them.
And we now helped our trans kids. Thanks, everybody.
When the most powerful attack our most vulnerable, we call them out. For we know that we stand on the right side of history. We fight for LGBTQ plus liberation where it matters most. On Capitol Hill.
These unrelenting efforts by extremist lawmakers.
In your local state house.
I mean, look at y'all. HRC is stepping up and showing out on tonight.
We know what that leads to, and we know the countless deaths and misery that was brought on by that. She took it on, and she also officiated some of the first same-sex marriages in the entire country. Then she went on to become the Attorney General of the largest state in the country, and the moment it arrived to defend marriage equality, and she threw her whole self into that fight. You know Kamala Harris, she doesn't just pick these fights when she talks about it, and this is the thing to keep in mind. All she does is win. All she does is win. So when the word came down that same-sex marriage had been legalized immediately. Vice President, and I say this, it is not a stretch and the facts are there. This is the most pro-LGBTQ plus administration in American history. She helped President Biden pass the landmark Respect for Marriage Act, requiring every state and territory to fully honor same-sex and interracial marriage. and she helped stop the ignorant and Byzantine practices between gay and bisexual men from donating blood. I think it's important in this room for us to remember these things, because keep in mind, there's some other folks on the other side, given one chance to get back in the White House, they will go back at every one of these things we talk about. We talk about progress and moving forward because she said it. We're sure the hell not going back on these things. We're not going to go back. But be clear, they're going to be there. Things like strengthening mental health resources for LGBTQ plus youth. We know what the statistics are. They're horrific for our young people. From suicides to self-harm to all of the other things that go with it, we know that this fight is the most important fight that's on our plate. So I have to tell you, she made human rights for LGBTQ plus individuals around the world a top priority in this nation's foreign policy. We must lead. We must be the country that leads on it. She worked with President Biden on historic executive orders protecting folks from discrimination. And the reason she did it was pretty simple. Kamala Harris believes in equal justice under law. And that means, not very complicated, equal justice under law. It is not to be debated. It's not that difficult. The precedence is set. But look, we know what this fight is. We know that we can all relate to some of this. And I'll tell you this fight, and I think about it for me. For some of you maybe heard this. I was born in a small place called West Point, Nebraska. I grew up, yay, somebody's from West Point. There we go. There's two of us. The town I grew up in had 400 people. 24 classmates, 12 were cousins. Somebody brought up the prom dating to me. Yes, it's interesting. But look, when you're in a community like that, community wasn't it. My folks showed me, teach generosity to your neighbors, work hard for the common good. Those are values that I brought work as a social studies teacher and a high school football coach. Now, those of you who teach know this. You learn far more from your students than they learn from you, no matter how good a teacher you are. You know how that works. So some of my students, and this is in the late 90s, were concerned about an uptick in bullying amongst the gay and lesbian community in our school. One of those brave students is here tonight. Jacob Raycon's a dear friend of mine who's here. And Jacob, look, I'm coaching football. I'm an old, straight, white guy. I'm teaching social studies. You're all picturing the damn stereotype here. Turns out that I'm like opposite world of Tommy Tuberville, though, so in this for some of you. So when Jake asked if I'd be interested in being the advisor to the Gay Straight Alliance, I said, absolutely. I understood what it meant to be that older, straight, white guy who was coaching football.
On local resources that are happening. You've got millions of dollars of San Diego money going to illegal aliens. That means healthcare services that a lot of American citizens aren't enjoying. That means mental health services that a lot of American citizens can't get. And it's happening because Kamala Harris refuses to do her job. And this is not rocket science. I hear a little heartbreak, honestly, when I talked to Mandy earlier about what's going on here. He took an oath to protect this country, to protect it from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and he has to, because Kamala Harris told him to, release illegal aliens into this country with minimal processing and minimal security. It breaks his heart that he's not allowed to do his job. And why is he not allowed to do his job? Because Kamala Harris, she suspended deportations on day one. She ended Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, and she re-implemented the catch and release disaster that allows a lot of illegal aliens to commit fraud on our asylum system. You know what Donald Trump and I want to do? We want to go to war with the Mexican drug cartels. We want to close down the American southern border. We want to reinstitute deportations, and we want to stop the insanity at the southern border. I just want to make one final observation here, something that occurs to me. I mean, look, San Diego, obviously not a red city. California, not a red state, but this is part of our American family. And Kamala Harris, you know, she seems to have this sick idea that American citizens shouldn't benefit from the social compact in this country. Think about what it means to be an American citizen. You pay your taxes, you sign up for the draft. So if God forbid we go to war, you do your duty. And what do you get in exchange for it? You get the benefit of the social safety net in this country, where if you're down on your luck, you don't starve to death. You don't go homeless because you didn't make a mistake. Maybe you lost your job. That is the basic social contract. You give a little and you get a little when you're down on your luck. What Kamala Harris seems to want to do is to give all the benefits of American citizenship to people who shouldn't even be here, and that's going to bankrupt this country and make it impossible for normal people to afford to buy a home, to afford to buy groceries, to benefit from that social safety net. Medicare has kept millions of American seniors out of poverty. She wants to give Medicare to illegal aliens, bankrupting that program and throwing a whole generation of our elderly citizens into terrible, terrible destitution. This is what Kamala Harris is doing. And I guess I just have a message for Kamala. Why do you dislike the citizens of your own country so much that you want to give the benefits of citizenship to illegal aliens and you want American citizens to suffer under your policies? You are the vice president now. You could fix this disaster now. Please do. We can't wait another month for you to get a promotion. You need to do your job now.
Senator Vance, Vice President Kamala Harris has argued or blamed you because the immigration bill didn't pass in the Senate. She wonders why you didn't support it. What would be your answer for it?
Well, my answer is the Kamala Harris border bill was not a real border bill. It would not have secured the southern border. We have to remember here that if you go back to that negotiation, what we were really trying to do in the Republican Party is force Kamala Harris, as borders are, to do her job. We were trying to find ways in that legislation to force her to do her job. Now, nobody disagrees that Kamala Harris could close down the southern border right now if she wanted to. The entire exercise of that bill was, how do we force her to do something that she clearly wasn't going to do? And what we basically realized is there's no way to do it. There is no way to force a vice president who's the borders are or a president to shut down the border if they don't want to. That's what made the border bill such a disaster. But fundamentally, the problem is Kamala Harris. She implemented all of these policies on day one. She said she wanted to open the border. She did exactly that. Oh man, we've got some that is a crazy ass bug.
Yeah.
Somebody help him.
There we go. All right, Senator.
That's what we need to keep from coming across the southern border here. We need to build the wall higher because that was a scary ass bug. Sir.
Yeah, Senator. According to CBP data, apprehensions, encounters are at its lowest level since February 2021. Is that not an example of President Biden's executive orders actually working at the southern border?
Well, so two things here. First of all, their entire argument gives lie because they want to say, well, we started to enforce the border policy and now all of a sudden the numbers have come down a little bit. Well, if that's true, then how can they possibly say they needed this border bill to do their job? They're saying right now we're doing our job, and all that they needed was for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to actually take some executive action. That's been our entire argument the whole time, is that Kamala Harris could enforce the border if she wanted to. Now, unfortunately, the argument that they're making doesn't actually make sense because while border crossings at the southern border have come down, all they've done is redirect them to the ports of entry into airports. So if you look at the total number of crossings, both coming in through the southern border, but also coming in through airports and other ports.
The union never endorsed me when I was a 29-year-old kid running for the Senate. Mark flew over from Washington with me on Air Force One, along with the great national labor leaders, Brent Booker of the Laborers. Brent, thank you. Sean McGarvey, Building Trades. Gwen Mills, Unite Here. There you are. Well, by the way, we were talking about Gwen and I on the plane. She flew out with me. You know, I've heard the word, my dad used the word more than any other adjective, dignity. All these workers bust their neck. They provide our ability to sleep and walk and work and do anything. And they deserve to be treated with dignity. And that's exactly what she's done. And Kenny Cooper, IBEW. Oh, I'll tell you what, man. Kenny was the first one to stand up for me in 2020. he came out and he said he's going to be for me. And he brought his union along and it changed everything. Kenny, you're not only a great labor leader, you're a good personal friend. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And not that it matters to you, but it mattered a hell of a lot to me. The first union that ever endorsed me as a 29-year-old kid. When I got elected, I wasn't old enough to be sworn in. I had to wait 17 days to be eligible. But guess what? The greatest job creation record of any single presidential term in American history because of you. Earlier today, we learned the economy created another 142,000 jobs last month. That's 42 straight months in a row. Every single month increasing jobs to a total of 16 million new jobs since we took office. The fact. They told us we couldn't do it. Over 1.6 million jobs in construction and manufacturing. Where in the hell is it written that America can't lead the world again in manufacturing? We are leading the world in manufacturing, and we'll continue to. Unemployment is down, wages are up. Inflation is way down and continue to come down. I predict it's going to come down this month a little more. And just last year, we added 250 new energy jobs. Clean energy jobs, growing twice as fast as any other sector of the economy. Clean energy. I know the other team doesn't think there's any such thing as global warming. Well, I like to put the other nominee for president, the former president, I like to put him in the middle of Arizona for a while. Clean energy workers are joining unions at the highest level in history, double any other portion of the workforce. I've said it before. When I think climate, I think jobs, good paying union jobs.
Donald Trump for President of the United States. We as Americans, we as Jews, support Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister of the State of Israel. The Democrats say that Israel has a right to defend itself. Aren't they nice? Israel has a right to kick the shit out of Hamas, Hezbollah, and anybody else. And you know what? You know what? They are kicking the shit out of Hamas, as a matter of fact. I know Donald Trump. I told the group yesterday. He sent me a text out of the blue after he won the Republican primary. You know what he said to me? Thank you for your support. I'm really very excited. And I want you, Mark, to know I will protect the state of Israel. That's what he told me. Kamala Harris doesn't care about people. We have more slavery going on in this country since the end of the Civil War, right on our southern border. Women sold into sex slavery, children sold into sex slavery. I'm not the border czar. You are the damn vice president of the United States. You know, you can't actually do something about it, but she doesn't. I haven't been to Europe either, she tells us. She's dangerous, she's stupid, and she's a Marxist Islamist. I'm telling you the truth. Her father's a Marxist. Tell me, what is it about capitalism that she supports? Ever. Nothing. Nothing. She keeps the old Soviet playbook on price controls, wage controls. We're going to limit. What kind of people vote for somebody who tells them we're going to destroy your energy sector? We're going to control the price of food. We're going to, quote unquote, as the New York Times put it, reshape the population. Reshape the population. Let me make something clear. This country doesn't exist for a diabolical party like the Democrat Party. The United States of America exists for the people of the United States, not for the Democrat Party and their power grabs. You know, in communist regimes,
Hey, Paradise, can you pause real quick?
That you have allegiance to.
Now, see, it would work if you don't involve like certain components when he speaks in those kind of terms. When he speaks so vehemently about the Democratic Party, you can hear what he's referring to in his speech without him actually saying it. And I don't even know if it's even trying to be covert at that particular point. I think that is pretty much obvious. But you know, my primary thing when I hear people like him speak directly, you have to understand the audience the national audience outside of the group that you're talking to right there, when it comes down to votes and how many you need to win, how that message resonate with them. Where does it lean? But not unless you just don't care. You just see America as two Americas, because that's basically what he's talking about. Like, this is our America, but they're trying to force us to accept these people. Like it's like the integration argument or something. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like all of this always goes back to the school board. When Thurgood Marshall won against them, it's just like they can't get over that. Then you get the civil rights thing, and then Martin Luther King won the Montgomery boycott, and it's just all of these systems that just keep falling. But this group of people always remain. They always exist. They birth children. Some of them are not even birthed from these particular people. They come here from other countries and they pick up the ideology, and they pick up whiteness and they run with it. But it's just very, very unique to see him defend it to that particular level. Instead of it being them, it will be a we thing. We just
what's their population? And what's their population percentage in America? 1%.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
literally about 1%, maybe a little bit less than 1%, something like that.
Yeah,
numbers don't matter. People just don't understand it. I don't think.
Yeah,
they just don't get it. Yeah. But anyway, let me see what else. Let me finish up what he's saying. I'm gonna jump to
The
Trump
Democrat Party. It's the party you have allegiance to. They hate our country. Did you know they hate our country? How can you support CRT, DEI, ESG?
See, I didn't even know he was going to even go here.
The attacks on our monuments.
Yeah, so it's very obvious
on our Constitution, the attacks on our founders, the
Yeah.
attacks on our economic system, the attacks on our sovereignty, the attacks on the cops, the attacks on the military, and tell me you love America. When you want to fundamentally transform America, how many of you are married? Do you say to your wife, I want to fundamentally transform you, but don't worry, honey, I love you? No, you don't fundamentally transform something you love. For us, it's visceral, isn't it? We sit in burning the American flag and replacing it with the Palestinian flag.
Remember, Republican Jewish coalition.
What the hell is that all about? In fact, some of these people are so stupid they were flying the Italian flag. They didn't realize that it's not the Palestinian flag. But I want people to understand something. I want Joe Biden to understand something. I want Kamala Harris to understand something, and the rest of their party. Who the hell do you think you are to tell us whether we get to live or die? Who the hell do you think you are to tell us whether we get to live in a free country or not? Who the hell do you think you are? You get to decide the price of our food? You get to decide if gasoline is available to us. We're an advanced civilization. We have an industrial society. We are a free people. We get to decide what the price of food is. We get to decide what the price of fuel is. We get to decide if we kick your asses out of office or not.
Very much. Thank you. And a man who I watched his speech, he did a very, very good job. Tom Tiffany. Where's Tom? Tom, great job. Great speech. Thank you. I watched it from the plane, Tom. Good. Thank you. Very popular guy, very good guy, very great congressman. Wisconsin GOP Chairman Brian. Where is Brian? Brian Schimming. Brian, thank you very much. He's doing it. Are we winning, Brian? I think so, right? You've been fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Right from day one. Door County GOP Chair Stephanie Susek. Stephanie? Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Great job. Pierce County GOP Chair Stephanie Poton. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Two Stephanies. And Marathon County GOP Chair, where are you, Kevin? Where are you? Kevin, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kevin. Also with us is same country singer, and she wrote some songs that have been top of the line and a winner of awards all over the place. Gretchen Wilson. Where's Gretchen? Gretchen, thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Do you want to come up, Gretchen? Okay, come up. Come up. Come on. What the hell? It's a Saturday. We have all day of the migrants. But he doesn't want to say it because that's a bad thing to say if you're a Democrat. You know, they put you right out of business. He fears the policies of Kamala, but doesn't want to lose his base or his job. He's afraid to say anything about it. Colorado began the threat to democracy against me, where they tried to unconstitutionally remove me from the ballot. I was the leading person in the whole country, leading everybody by a lot. And they said, let's remove him from the ballot. And then they say, I'm a threat to democracy. Think about that. But Colorado was the one that did it at the behest of the governor, probably. Many people in Colorado were absolutely angry at it. They didn't like it. Even Democrats and liberals, they said, that's terrible. You can't do that. Democrats did it. The concept of taking the number one person in the Republican Party by far and taking him off the ballot so that the Republicans don't even have a nominee, because this was very far down the line. The case for me was won at the United States Supreme Court quickly and unanimously. And the governor, Jared Polis, had no idea. The only one that's going to get it done, and I will tell you, I'm going to get it done. And so go out and do that protest. If you're Maine, if you're in Illinois, if you're in any state, because you're being overrun by criminals. You're being overrun by people. They're not being checked. They're not being vetted. They're taking over our country. They're forming armies in our country. And Aurora is just one example of many locations. Other places are probably even in worse shape. We just haven't heard about them yet. And a lot of governors don't like talking about it. Like this guy Polis, he said, no, don't talk about it. We don't want the world to find out. The world has found out. The world has found out. They have all the pictures. They have all the tape that you want. I've never seen anything like it. They walk in, they throw people out of their apartments. They take over the whole building. Now they take over another building. They're in the real estate business. Isn't that nice? They were in jail in the Middle East, from Europe, from Asia. They're coming in from everywhere. They're getting rid of their criminals. They're bringing them into the United States of America, our beautiful country, our now failing country. It's a failing country under these lunatics. And they're bringing them in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Ron Johnson sees it. He sees it all the time, and he gets sick over it. But we're going to do something about it, Ron. We're going to get it done. We have to. We have no choice. It's not like we have a choice. Not like we can say, oh, well, we'll live with it. You can't live with it because you're going to be killed. These are killers. But from all over the world, you take a look at the crime statistics. You take a look at the jail statistics. The jails are being emptied out. The mental institutions are being emptied out, and insane asylums. And then the press, when I say Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the press says, oh, why did he mention that? They're wise guys back there, just wise guys. They say he rambled and started talking about Hannibal Lecter. What does that have to do? That's a representative of people that are coming into our country. Dr. Hannibal Lecter, he will have you for dinner. You know that? He will have you for dinner. No, but this is what's happened. This is what's happening at levels that nobody can even imagine. Millions and millions. J.D. Vance is doing a phenomenal job. Today, he said 25 million. He's doing a great job. You know, I picked the best athlete. I had
What's the
great
address to the
people
spot down there?
and great people. We have so many wonderful people. Marco was incredible, and Tim Scott was incredible. And you have a governor in a certain place that has a lot of oil. You know who I'm talking about. Well, how good was he? And you have just great places and great people. And I got to know so many. I picked JD. JD, and I could have picked anyone. They would have been great. But JD had an incredible life. He had a mother who was very addicted to prescription drugs and not a lot of help from the father. And he was a great student, however, very smart. He went to Ohio State, graduated at the top of his class in 2 years. I said, 2 years, that's pretty good. I never heard of that. Then he went into the military. Then he came out, got accepted to Yale Law School, which is very hard to do without a father that has connections. Very hard to do, almost impossible. The reason he was accepted was that he was really smart. He was smart as hell. And then he worked, I guess, essentially on Wall Street or Wall Street alternative or equivalent, and did very well. And then he ran for office. I endorsed him, and he became a senator from the great state of Ohio, and he's doing amazingly well. But he's a brilliant guy, and the press went after him for about the first week, and then they gave up because he has the answers. He's really he's conservative, but he really is like all of us. We're all sort of conservative, but what we really are is we have common sense, right? We have common sense. Common sense is more important, Ron, than anything else. We need common sense. We'd like to have borders. We don't want crime. We want good schools. We want nice housing. We want low interest rates, you know. It's called, we don't want wars. Ideally, we don't want wars. Everyone thought I'd be a warmonger. I was the opposite. But I did scare people away from having wars. And you know what I did? I used tariffs. I heard two countries were going to have a war. I called them both. I said, here's the story. You have a war. You're going to have to pay a 200% tariff to do business in the United States. And they'd both say, the leaders would say to me, lost 1.3 million jobs, and migrants gained 635,000 jobs in a single month. Every job that we've gained has been replaced, not by American citizens, but by illegal migrants. Did you know that? Every job that was created over the last fairly short period of time was taken by illegal migrants. And I will tell you this, the Black population and the Hispanic population are being decimated by these people coming in unchecked, unbalanced. They're coming in and they're taking the Black population and the Hispanic population jobs. And next is going to be unions. You watch the unions suffer. The auto workers are not going to exist in a year and a half or 2 years because of what that fool did. Who's the head of the auto workers? He's a fool. Since the start of this year, nearly 1 million Americans joined the unemployment rolls. Nobody knows that. And now Kamala is pushing the largest individual small business tax in American history. And she said 70 to 80% tax is probably a good idea, a bold idea that should be discussed. 80%. Good luck with your small business. She and Sleepy Joe Biden waged war on American energy, opened up the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2, after I had closed it. It was done. It was closed. As soon as he came in, he approved it. But he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, Keystone. He shut it down, 48,000 jobs, and it was a very important pipeline, actually, but we'll get it open. But think of it. I shut down the biggest pipeline in the world, the Russian pipeline going to Germany and all over Europe. I shut it down. It was done. He gets in. He approved it. He approved it. But he shuts down the pipeline in this country, the XL pipeline. She re-entered the horribly unfair to the United States Paris Climate Accord. It sounds so nice, the Paris Climate Accord. Such a nice name. Oh, isn't that beautiful? We want the Wisconsin Accord. We want the people of Wisconsin, not the people of Paris. That Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and other countries like China it was considered third world. China, it's a developing nation. They didn't have to pay anything. India didn't have to pay anything. Russia didn't have to pay anything. France didn't have to pay anything. Nobody had to pay, only the stupid United States. We paid $1 trillion. And I closed it down. And as soon as he got back up, he opened it at even worse terms. Kamala Harris and the communist left have unleashed a brutal plague of bloodshed, crime, chaos, misery, and death upon our land. And it's only going to get worse. As Vice President, Harris has presided over a 43% increase in violent crime, including a 58% increase in rape. She supports defund the police, and during the 2020 riots, she encouraged her followers to donate to bail criminals, looters, arsonists, and murderers. She was trying to get the murderers out of jail, right? You're shaking, right? Everybody now knows it. And this is a person that wants to be president of the United States, and she didn't get a vote. As California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. Oh, that's nice.
Yo.
Yo, tapped out.
Oh yeah, I'm good on that. He just saying the same old. Nothing new. So I just kind of skipped through his stuff anyway.
Okay.
Nothing nothing that nothing new. No new plans, etc. So you're gonna stick with the border wall talk mainly. I'm just trying to push fear. So I mean, it's a good thing though, right? You stick to your message, right? win, lose, or draw. So I'd give him that. He's sticking to the message.
Go what got you here.
Well, and JD is sticking to it too. I mean, they think it's gonna work, and it I don't know. It didn't work. It didn't work last time, so that's why I'm confused. It made sense in 2020, maybe, but for a third try, who are you convincing?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because you're telling people something that's happened to them that's not happening to them. Gangs aren't taking over anything. No one is feeling any of this stuff on scale nationally. That'll be a very different conversation at that point. But you're just literally pushing fear. Neighborhoods that are you're in neighborhoods that are 100% white. You talk about an invasion.
I know.
You're in states that are 99.1% white. And you're talking about invasions. Make it make sense.
Sensationalizing, some of the smaller.
Yeah, they're coming. Remember, they're like the niggas. Or, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Now he's trying to include us into it. Now we're included. Now, oh no, they coming to get y'all too. Now get out of here.
It's such a ruthless playbook, man. Just to play both sides. It's just, and it keeps us stuck. That's what keeps us in purgatory. It keeps us in this political purgatory. You're gonna look for so-called benign protection against overt, mistreatment, but it's still you're caught.
Yeah,
still caught in the way.
It's working. It's working though. If you show somebody getting a house or getting a car or getting something that you're not getting, it's easy to sell that and create that hate or division or being left out of. It's easy.
Yeah, then you could talk down to your own audience and be like, "You Negroes
like you just like right, like me and you established. White people haven't not got them trailer parks since the 1970s and 80s. They're still there. The kids are there. They're there.
Generation.
The grandparents are there. They're all in the same trailer park.
That's what I'm saying.
Generation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they did programs on that. What's that?
So
Duck season?
Right.
Duck
So
season and all that.
some immigrants showing up in your neighborhood is going, if they didn't show up in your neighborhood, or if they left, that somehow all this money is going to come your way and they going to hook you up, you're out your damn mind. If you haven't gotten it by now, you're not getting it. Shit, you need to move on somewhere else, really. You asking for something that's not going to happen. So people have to learn the hard way, I guess, right?
It's what you pay attention to.
People complain to the point where they get gentrified out their neighborhoods. That's what I'm trying to say. They will be somewhere saying, "I'm never leaving. It's gonna get better. I'm gonna keep fighting." And they wake up one day after 70 years or 50 years, and it's over.
Right.
DC. I mean, we could just. I don't even want to go through the list. It's just. Why don't y'all? Why can't y'all? And then you see people in DC protesting about them making you turn go-go off, like y'all too loud with the music. Like turn it down, and you got her protest to hold on to your to your music. It's cold-blooded.
I don't even know what to say.
And the whole time you've been lying to people. People have, and you can't tell people you're playing yourself. You have to just let it happen.
Yeah.
I used to tell people back, and I said, if you guys keep talking about what y'all want, you won't be here no more. And guess what? Go to 14th Street. I can't make it up. It's a reality, right? 9th Street, 10th Street Northeast, 11th Street Northeast. Go down those streets from downtown, what they used to look like and how they look now. All those folks complain. It's too much crime. It's bad, and we can't do this. We can't that. Yeah, on purpose, designed that way. And when they're gonna make this, when they're ready to make this area quote unquote safe and productive, you're not leaving. You won't be able to be here no more. You have to leave. So why not leave now? But anyway, you can't tell people to leave their culture, of course. That's crazy. But you basically have to be forced out of those environments, I guess, rather when you think about it. Unfortunately, you know. But it happened, right? We literally watched it happen. Day in, I watched it happen day in and day out. Just day in and day out. Just the grind of it. And it's still happening right now. I was just down there. I was like, wow, another block gone. Another block gone. You know. And you can go to the Midwest and you see it there as well. You know, and on and on and on, all over New York City. Well, let me not say New York City, but the boroughs and everywhere else in different places. You know, folks in Atlanta saying, "I'm the real Atlanta. I'm the old Atlanta." So yeah, that's done. Good luck. You're not holding on to whatever you was holding on to. Now, it seems like it's very difficult to bring in, you know, without bringing in that new energy. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, the way this thing works here, at least. Like everything runs its course and then it has to reset. And normally that means I have to bring in new people, fresh everything to kind of get things going, you know. And the few folks that can hold on and can integrate into the new system. But for the most part, it seems like you just need, that's just how it works for some reason, you know. And you have to make those moves. And, you know, people, they'll fight it. I expect DC to probably be 75% Caucasian in the next 10 years. And just keep hearing old war stories about how it used to be. I know you experienced it firsthand. Yep. Even when, actually, matter of fact, even when folks move out to like the, you look at how some areas are designed where you see like the new homes as you push further out from the city, you can sort of go through the time of how these was the original kind of the outside city areas. Then you see the next iteration of it, like maybe like 20, 25 years later, then you'll see another iteration, another, depending on where you are. You can see 4 or 5 kind of iterations over a stretch of maybe 60 years of like, oh wow, they've pushed all the way out to this area now. It's all the new stuff. And you sort of leave the other people kind of behind, basically, if they decide to stay in those places. You know what I'm saying? You look at like even in our world, when you look at like Seat Pleasant or Forestville or New Carrollton or Delphi or whatever, right? You sort of start working your way out from the Beltway. You sort of can see, you know, the new even though they're doing some redevelopment, of course, you can sort of see the old versus the new. You sort of see the immigrants can come in there and buy some of the old stuff, and you know, the cycle sort of continues. But anyway, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
You have any more comments before I close it up?
No, man. I'm glad we was able to kind of get something on on the wood, man. And you know, we're just gonna mind our own business and just keep it to the content, man. Let the content speak for itself, you know. And I guess next time we'll you know, have some people come up, but I'm glad that we was able to get some content in and let that be it. Let that speak
Yeah,
for
I
itself.
think we're day 80. I don't know what day is it. 83, maybe something like that. I mean 63. Day 63 or day 62, and we have a debate. I'm assuming the debate is going to be Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
You know what I was thinking about? Why wouldn't they have it on the weekend? I said, oh, that's right, football. We're not going to have no debate on Sunday or
It
no
is on
Saturday
Tuesday. Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
or no Thursday at this point.
Yeah.
Not doing this time frame.
Tuesday's normally the
Or
day.
Monday.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would have been better to do it on the weekend in my mind, but you're not doing football season. Football takes up 3 days, 3 or 4 days a
Yeah.
week, at least 3 a week.
Yeah, these people would have been pissed about missing the game because of that. No, sir.
Oh, nobody would have watched the debate.
Right.
The casual fan would not watched. Yeah, you're definitely watching football. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it. But yeah, I'm ready for the debate. That's gonna be a pretty probably gonna be the highest rated debate in history. Probably, I think this is gonna be a crazy number when it comes to this. Just because no one's really seen her debate in 4 years, and no one even probably watched that debate 4 years ago. So just all of the new people. I mean, just all the people who are going to get to see her for the first time and actually pay attention, sit down and actually pay attention for some of it. It's going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always curious about strategies. Is he going to be laid back or aggressive? Of course, he's going to be aggressive. Is she going to be laid back? Is she going to be aggressive? Is she going to wait for the pot shots? Does she have her attack? Does she have her stuff lined up to attack back? Is he going to figure out a way to go with her? It's going to be a strange. Or are they going to just stick to the issues? You know what I mean? Because he don't want to step in no landmines, right? And she don't want to make maybe too many mistakes.
Right. Right.
Because if he pulls out the big gun and say, "Well, you said she was Indian. Now you saying that if he get on that though, now we have a debate."
That's crazy, man.
If he decides to just go ahead and say, "You know what? I hear what y'all said, but I got to do it. I got to pull it. I got to do it. I have no choice." That would be funny, by the way. That would be definitely entertaining. But so that's coming up Tuesday, and so we may not do any content until maybe Tuesday, or maybe unless something crazy happens in the next couple of days. What is it? Sunday? So what? Tomorrow? Monday? Yeah, really just one day, right? outside of this
Much.
afternoon, but
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty much sports.
It's going to be sports all the way from tomorrow. Well,
till Monday night, till Tuesday, till basically Tuesday morning.
Yeah, Tuesday. So we're talking about whenever the morning shows start, like from 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the news media is going to be going crazy on Tuesday anyway, all day waiting for the debate. So
you know it.
So I might want to stream early and just stream the whole situation. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be we're going to have something to chew on for days. This should be hopefully epic and gives a lot of contrast and a lot of content. And start seeing those poll numbers come out in the next couple of days after that. To see did anybody move or shift because like I said, she just got to be solid, really.
Yep.
I think the pressure is on him to try to rattle her or try to get her off her game. Because if he cannot get nothing out of her, and she just keeps it standard, he loses that debate, in my opinion. Meaning that if he gets nothing out of the debate, it's nothing. Nothing's going to happen. He needs to make her rattle, and if she rattles him, that is a huge problem. By the way. He has his sycophants, but it would give more comfort to Republicans who are all breaking to the left, because to see Dick Cheney endorse a progressive or damn near progressive is hilarious to me. So I'm ready for it. Anyway, let's close this thing on out. This is Paradox. This is the Code Breakers.
And this is DC. And until next time, peace.